I mean, what I do for my non-living now, since I am retired, is study Russia, mainly historically, but lately contemporary. I have followed Putin's career very closely because I am a biographer of Russian leaders. And I'm not writing a biography of Putin, but I think biographically, I look at leaders. Let me sum up my answer to your question in this way. The mantra, the consensual characterization of Putin, leaving aside KGB thug, is that he is an aggressor, that his foreign policy has been neo-Soviet imperial aggression. No serious historian writing 20, 30, 40 years from now will characterize Putin as that. They will see him, as I do, as primarily, not exclusively, you want to break it down to percentage, 75%, a reactive leader. Political science has these concepts between leaders who are proactive, that would be an aggressor, and reactive. They're reacting, maybe in an aggressive way, to things that are being done to them in their country. This, if you begin with Putin's attempt to become an American partner after 9/11, if you look at all the things that he did for the United States we asked for during the reset, putting heavier sanctions on Iran, supplying American and NATO troops fighting in Afghanistan, which, by the way, continues even today. We have no other safe route there. Pakistan is not safe. I would say that Putin 1,000% wants this partnership, and he's wanted it from day one. And by the way, we fix on the Garry Kasparovs of this world. Gary's not connected to Russia anymore. He lives a couple blocks from me in Manhattan. But he represents an opinion in Russia, which probably at the polls in a free election get about 8 to 10%. And they should have elections so they can have their 8 to 10% in the poll. And they should be on TV. But then I should be on TV too. And so should a lot of you in this room.
You are.
Yeah, but not on the TV that reaches Washington any longer. I mean, I'm on the TV that weird people in New York late at night watch when they got nothing else to do. The question I lost. I digressed to Gary. What was the question? Was
does Putin want?
No, that is absolutely
allegiance with the U.S.
Yeah, that is absolutely clear, and to me at least. At the same time, the bitterness regarding the United States in the Russian political class, the security elites, because Putin cannot make decisions unilaterally. He can't. He's the decider, as George Bush used to call himself. He's the decider. But he has to bring along his team, which is divided. But the anger at the United States has to do more than anything with what they regard as broken American promises to Russia over the last 20 years. And everybody says, oh, you mean Bush's promise to Gorbachev that NATO would not expand if Gorbachev would agree to a reunited Germany and NATO. It began there. But look what happened after 9/11. Putin put himself way out of his ballpark with his own people when he told George Bush, whatever you want, we'll give you. And do you know what he gave us? He gave us American lives. Not only did he give us Russian information and right to travel and supply Afghanistan over Russia, but there was a fighting force left over from the Soviet adventure in Afghanistan called the Northern Alliance, with the Russians had continued to train, Russian officers, in Afghanistan. He gave that to Bush to do the early fighting. And so for every Northern Alliance soldier who died fighting the Taliban to drive him out of Kabul, it would have been an American soldier. What did he get? What did Putin get in return? Quickly, Bush withdrew from the anti-ballistic missile treaty unilaterally. That was the bedrock of Soviet nuclear security, and we started this missile defense again. And Bush undertook a second round of NATO expansion to Russia's borders. So how does Putin explain how smart he is to his own people? You give and they take. And if you really wanted to go into it, you could look at the reset, because it was that all over again. Russia gave everything we asked for, we gave nothing in return. So there's this anger that you can't trust the Americans. And until recently, there are only two people who could vouchsafe for American policy in the White House. Henry Kissinger, because they trust him, but Obama won't see him, so far as I know, and Merkel. But Merkel now is maybe going down. Her numbers are plummeted in Germany because of Greece, because of Ukraine, because of the refugee crisis, now because of Syria. So it's not clear if some really important thing would come from Obama to Putin. It would be nice if he could get it in writing, and even in writing, of course. I mean, he really needs to know that Obama's got his back, just as Obama needs to know Putin's got his back politically. But I think it's possible. It's called leadership.